こんにちは、皆さん。今日、私たちは日本語を勉強していました。質問があれば、私に聞いてください。Greetings, everyone. Today we are studying Japanese. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask me at any time. I'm going to continue with Immersion with Card Captor Sakura.
ともよちゃんのお母さんまだ？もうすぐだと思うんですが。じゃあ私たちと一緒にお昼食べよう。よろしいんですか？家族の団らんにお邪魔して。もちろんみんなで食べた方が美味しいよ。ありがとうございます。リーくん。リーくんも一緒にお昼どう？
See, Lee-kun mo iisho ni o hirudo. Or in other words, essentially like what usually ano means that kind of thing, but when you use it without a noun, it has the implication of you're thinking about what you're gonna say, so it translates to instead of that. So ano, let's see. So essentially, Lee Kun lunch together. How is it? Or Lee Kun together lunch. How is it? In other words, do you want to eat lunch with us? Let's see. Yeah. So and she didn't really say it as like one question. She said Lee Kun eating with us. Also, Lee Kun also eating with us. Is that okay? It's more of how she said it. So Lee Kun mo isho ni ohiru do. It's the full unabbreviated behind the sentence is effectively Ohiru o isho ni taberu no wa dou desu ka? Okay, but okay, I see. So you don't really need to. Yes. So they have the isho, the ohido in there. Oh, ohiru. Okay, ohiru. Lunch, ohiru. So ano ri-kun mo isho ni ohiru do. And a sentence without anything dropped from it would be ri-kun mo isho ni ohiru wo taberu no wa dou desu ka? But when you're talking about lunch, you don't need to say to eat, because everyone knows that's what you mean when you say lunch.
ー君も一緒にお昼どう？
なんでお前と？
どう？
なんでお前と I know all those words, but I'm not sure what that is saying. Nande usually talks about what reason, and then omae before. Oh, this is just the you omae, that's right, okay. Oh, so nande omae to would be, what reason would I eat with you? Is that essentially short for that? Or why would I eat with you? See, does that denote reasons? Reason or cause, but its usage is restricted to uncontrollable events or external circumstances. What type of day is it's a contraction of nani what plus day, okay. In this specific day denotes reason or cause. It functions similarly by what it functions similarly to by means of what or due to what. So by means of what or aka due to what, effectively asking the grounds behind a situation. Day. Let's see. Day cannot denote reasons for volitional actions, decisions, intentions, or deliberate behaviors, which is likely the rule you learn. Okay, however, it is grammatically correct to use day for reasons involving uncontrollable events, natural causes, or circumstances. Okay, day used when the result is an inevitable consequence of an external factor such as illness, accident. Okay. So Kazade Yasunda arrested due to a cold. Jishin de ie ga taoreta, the house collapsed due to the earthquake. Volitional actions de, okay, invalid with de, okay. The particle de marks a cause that acts as a direct, often physical or situational trigger for the result, whereas kara no de marks a reason that justifies a judgment, opinion, or voluntary action. Your previous example, nande, why works because it asks for the underlying cause or basis of a situation fitting the cause function of de. It is grammatically correct to use de for reasons involving uncontrollable event, natural causes, or circumstances. So you're basically trying to figure out the cause that led to something. It wasn't a decision, it's just you're trying to figure out the cause of why you're being asked. So nande omaito, so why would I eat with you, or what reason would I eat with you?
んも一緒にお昼どう？
なんでお前と？
さくらちゃん、お昼の用意できたよ。
おひ、お昼のよ、お昼の用意、できたよ。Oh, preparations, that's right. So lunch preparations have been finished or done. お昼の用意できたよ。This comes from utilize business service employee and then idea, taste, thought, desire, care. So preparations. So, お昼の用意できたよ。
なんでお前と？
さくらちゃん、お昼の用意できたよ。
一緒に食べる。
一緒に食べる。I'll eat with you.
一緒に食べる。
ほら、卵焼き美味しいよ。
ほら、
ほら、卵焼き美味しい。
たこ焼きおいしいよ. Whatever that is, all I know is it's made with eggs because it has the kanji for eggs in it. Let's see. Tamago. She did say tamago. Okay. Tamago yaki. Rolled eggs. Fried eggs. Let's see. Yaku. To burn. Okay, yeah, so yaku is the word used for to cook. So, tamago yaki or roasted eggs. Let's see, frying pan for making rolled eggs. So yes, yaku, so yaki. So hora tamago yaki oishio, or the fried eggs or rolled eggs, however you want to translate it, are delicious. Wait, this actually sounds like what she's saying. Tamago. Oh, that's just the same word. Yeah, tamago yaki. Grilled eggs, also called okay. Hora tamago yaki oishio.
ほら、卵焼き美味しいよ。お兄様と月城さんのお手製ですの。様と
See, Oni-sama to Tsukishiro, that's the that's Yukito, yes, Tsukishiro. Let's see. So Oni-sama to Tsukishiro-san no O te something.
ほら、卵焼き美味しいよ。お兄様と月城さんのお手製ですの。
お手製。Tetsei, handmade, homemade. So it uses the kanji for hand and made and manufactured. Say. That's a useful kanji. See, if I remember correctly, that's Nihon Sei essentially is how you say made in Japan. Essentially, when you're like in Japan looking for products to buy, if you want to actually make sure it's made in Japan, these are the kanji you essentially look for. Okay, this is just an honorific O, so Oni-sama to Oni-sama to Tsukishiro-san no o Otetsei desu no. Oni-sama to Tsukishiro-san no Otetsei desu no.
ほら、卵焼き美味しいよ。お兄様と月城さんのお手製ですの。
So I want to point something out. This is my speculation on the reasoning behind it, but you notice how Tomoyo-chan speaks very polite Japanese, but notice she uses sama for her brother, while she uses san for Tsukishiro. Now, she refers to Tsukishiro by his family name and not Yukito, his given name, because she doesn't know him nearly as well as she does her brother, as Sakura's brother. So she is using basically the family name followed by san to refer to Tsukishiro. However, she knows her brother a lot better, and because her brother is essentially an older sibling, she's using sama with Oni essentially. Because it's essentially people that are closer to strangers essentially and how much you know them, you generally just use san with them. But sama implies like a sort of a relationship in which like let's see, I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but let's see, like more the older brother also like essentially like looks out for her in addition to Sakura essentially, takes care of things as needed, respected for the wisdom and help out when they could kind of thing. So hence why she's using Sama with his name, or with the word for brother actually, but yes. So, Oni-sama to Tsukishiro-san no o tetsei desu no.
ほら、 卵焼き美味しいよ。お兄様と月城さんのお手製ですの。本当に美味しそうですわね。
本当に美味しそうですわね。It really looks delicious, or it truly looks delicious.
月城さんのお手製ですの。本当に美味しそうですわね。あら？
ごめんね、僕ばっかり食べて。ごめんね、
Okay, so ごめんね、僕は、let's see, ごめん、oh,バカ、okay. ごめん、僕ばかり食べて、oh, essentially, it looks like it's literally translated into sorry. Uh, so just I eating, or in other words, I was thinking of just only me eating, so I was just eating as much food as possible, I guess. Notice this uses bakari, so the exaggeration limit word. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I've been eating all by myself. No. Let's see, what does this mean in the context of one person eating far more than other people? Let's see. Oops, sorry, I'm hogging all the food. Let's see. I'm inside it. Okay. Boku bakari tabete. Literally, I am only eating, or I am eating only, implying the speaker is consuming the majority of the food while others are not. So, in other words, sorry, only I am eating. So, gomen boku bakari tabete. Let's see. Let's see. Ippai taberu note. So, let's see. Let's see. Noodles to get on. Note is to essentially be staying on. No, it's just connective form when you're not used with other words, so. Okay. Ippai taberu note. Let's see. I koto desu. So something is okay, basically. She's saying, so like, no, blah, blah, blah is okay. So, ippai taberu note. Noun. Not full, filled, brimming. fully to them as much as possible. Okay, so this is probably the adverbial use of ipai, so ipai taberu, so eat as much as possible. But then how's note day be used in all this? Oh, this is the quoting particle, isn't it? This is the the interrogative no followed by a quote. This is not the word note, okay? So in other words, doing eating to your fill is good, essentially. In other words, eat as much as you want. Let's see. Okay, and the translator says, no, it's great to eat a lot, isn't it? Which I think might misunderstand this. It does. It does this. Okay, does this mean it is good to eat a lot? Let's see, eat a lot, or does it mean it is okay to eat until you're full? Let's see, is grammatically ambiguous and depends entirely on the intended intonation and context. Un can mean either no or... Okay, that it clearly means no in this case. See, no. Let's see. Okay, it's getting confused over the un. Let's see. Ipai tabaru translates to, while ipai can also mean full when referring to the stomach, onaka ga ipai. Okay. In the structure of verb plus ipai usually functions as adverb meaning a lot or much. So ipai taberu means eat a lot or okay. So ipai taberu notte ii koto desu yo ne. It's good to eat a lot, right? Is the sute a contraction of tosuru? It is primarily a colloquial contraction of to wa or toyu no wa. Let's see, sute comes from to wa, used for defining a specific topic or quoting, or toyu no wa, used for speaking of or as for. Tabaru, tabaru, okay. In your previous sentence, okay, ipai tabaru no te I koto desu yo ne. Sute marks the ipai tabaru no, the act of eating a lot as the topic of a sentence. Contrast with to suru means to assume, to decide, to make into. Its colloquial contraction is typically toshicha or tosun in very rough speech, but never sute. Actually, not entirely sure, but it either means it's good to eat a lot, or it's okay to eat until you fill, something like that. So, ippai taberu noっていいことですよね。
ごめんね、僕ばっかり食べて。
いっぱい食べるのっていいことですよね。
お弁当すごく美味しいからね。
食べ物が美味しい。
ごめんね、僕ばっかり食べて。
いっぱい食べるのっていいことですよね。
お弁当。
お弁当すごく美味しいからね。So the bento's extremely delicious. And he's saying kara at the end because he's using it as the reasoning behind why he's eating so much. Yes. Sugoku. So, obento sugoku oishii kara ne.
食べて。
いっぱい食べるのっていいことですよね。
お弁当すごく美味しいからね。
食べ物が美味しいのは
ことですよね。
お弁当すごく美味しいからね。
食べ物が美味しいのは So the food is delicious, or the delicious food, and then he's going to say something about it. 食べ物が美味しいのは
ごめんね、僕ばっかり食べて。
いっぱい食べるのっていいことですよね。
お弁当すごく美味しいからね。
食べ物が美味しいのは健康な証拠なんだ。
健康な信号なんだ。Let's see. 健康な証拠なんだ。So, 健康な health, 健康. Let's see, health, strength, persistence, ease, peace. Okay, and then 証拠, evidence, proof. Foothold based on following. So evidence and then based on, aka proof. Shoko. Okay. Okay, so looks like, so in other words, he's saying it's health evidence. So he's essentially saying this is health evidence. In other words, so this makes me believe that she probably was saying it's good to eat a lot, because he's following up with the phrase, like, this is evidence that you're healthy, or this is proof that you're healthy. Kinko na shoko. And if I remember correctly, what type of health is kinko? What type of health is kinko? In Japanese. Refers to physical and mental health defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being rather than merely the absence of disease or infirmity. It is an adjective or noun used to describe a person's condition or lifestyle, such as in being in good health. So it has to do with the actual state of the body and mind being in good health, and not just the absence of something harming it. So kinko. So kinko na shoko. Okay, so kinko no shoko. So evidence and then based on, okay. Kinko na shoko nanda.
食べ物が美味しいのは健康な証拠なんだ。
そうだね。
美味しいのは健康な証拠なんだ。
そうだね。
ごちそうさま。
So yeah, gochiso-sama, or thanks for treating me, essentially. This go is the honorific go. Okay, let's see. Thank you for the meal, that was delicious. Chiso means treating someone. So, gochiso is more honorific way of saying chiso, and then in Japanese, when you talk about emotional states, it's generally thought of the person becomes the emotional state, not the emotion enters into them, but they become the emotion. So in this case, which is why they use suffixes like the emotional states of person, essentially. So they became the emotion, the state of treating people. So Gochi So Sama is essentially saying that thank you for treating me, essentially. Gochi So Sama? Okay.
そうだね。
ごちそうさま。
Okay, so
証拠なんだ。
そうだね。
ごちそうさま。
ごめん、遅れて。ごめん。
let's see. Gomen okurete. Let's see. So okureru is to be late. So okurete would be it in connecting form, and then so sorry I'm late. Why is he choosing to put it in connecting form? Let's see. This is Fujitaka. Okay. Let's see. His name comes from Wisteria, Noble Prosperity High. Okay, so let's see. Why is this in connecting form? Let's see. So okurete. See, okay, okurete is in connecting form of the verb okureru. Okay, the speaker uses the te form here because the sentence is truncated or cut short. In casual Japanese conversation, it is very common to leave the final verb or adjective implied rather than stating it explicitly. The te form acts as a hook that invites the listener to fill the rest of the thought based on context. The grammar behind it. So, apology. Okurete sumimasen. I'm sorry for being late. Explanation of state. Okurete shimatta. I ended up being late. Let's see. Request for forgiveness. Okurete yurushite. Okay, forgive me for being late. By stopping at okurete, the speaker relies on the preceding gomen, sorry, to carry the emotional weight. The te form connects the fact that I am late to the unspoken feeling and I feel bad about it, or please forgive me. This creates a softer, more natural flow than a blunt statement like okureta or I was late. In the context of being of a father being late for lunch at a school event, what would be the word that was truncated? Let's see, in the context of a father apologizing to his child or other parents at a school event, the truncated word is most likely shimatta. The full thought okurete shimatta Oh, okurete shimatte. Okay, here's why. Shimau in this context expresses regret. Okay. A father arriving late to lunch likely feels bad about the mishap. Okay, so casual flow. Okay, in casual speech, the te form of shimau, which is shimatte, is often cut off right after the first verb's te form. So okurete shimatte gomen. I ended up being late, or okurete gomen. Okay. While it could possibly also be truncated sumimasen, I'm sorry, or kudasai, or please forgive me. Shimata is the most common verb used to explain the cause of the apology in this specific late parent scenario. So gomen okurete.
ごめん遅れて。お父さん。ああ、チアリーディング部の演目間に合わなかった。
cheerleading cheerleading boo no.
ごめん遅れて。お父さん。ああ、チアリーディング部の演目間に合わなかった。
Mani awanakata. Let's see. Inmoku program. So performance plus I. Okay, look, experience, care, favor. Okay. So basically, part of the program's being showed, essentially, I guess, why they have I in there. So Inmoku. So the cheerleading club performance or program, I was not able to match the time. In other words, I missed the cheerleading performance. See, oh, I missed the cheerleading team's performance. Okay. See. Cheerleading boo no. No, Inmoku. Okay. Cheerleading boo no Inmoku mani awanakatta.
で、お父さん。ああ、チアリーディング部の演目間に合わなかった。
私ビデオに撮りました。
私、ビデオに撮りました or I video recorded it. Or more literally, I took it and placed it on a video.
チアリーディング部の演目間に合わなかった。
私ビデオに撮りました。
僕も写真いっぱい撮りましたから。
僕も写真いっぱい撮りましたから。So I also took a lot of pictures. Bokumo shashin ippai torimashita kara.
演目間に合わなかった。
私ビデオに撮りました。
僕も写真いっぱい撮りましたから。
どうもありがとう。ごめんね、さくらさん。
走ってきてくれて嬉しい。
走ってきてくれて、okay. Let's see. 走ってきてくれて嬉しい. So, no, basically negating what he was just implying and then saying, you gave me running here, so I'm happy. In other words, you ran here as fast as possible, so I'm happy. Or in other words, I'm happy you ran here as fast as possible. So, 走ってきてくれて嬉しい. And the reason they're using kite is because he's running towards her, so he's coming towards her.
写真いっぱい撮りましたから。
どうもありがとう。ごめんね、さくらさん。
走ってきてくれて嬉しい。
昨日作っておいたんだ。
昨日作っておいたんだ. Okay, so this is from oku in past tense, so おいた. So I made this yesterday. In other words, implying like I made this yesterday with a purpose, aka for today. So 昨日作っておいたんだ.
ごめんね、さくらさん。
走ってきてくれて嬉しい。
昨日作っておいたんだ。大学の冷蔵庫を借りて冷やしておいたから。冷たいよ。大学の
See, 大学の
冷蔵庫を借りて
冷蔵庫, that's refrigerator. 大学の冷蔵庫を
昨日作っておいたんだ。大学の冷蔵庫を借りて冷やし
借りて Isn't that like borrow? Let's see.
ておいたから。
くれて嬉しい。
昨日作っておいたんだ。大学の冷蔵庫を借りて冷やしておいたから。
冷やしてlet's see, 置いたから
冷たいよ。
冷たいよ。大学の冷蔵庫. Yeah, so refrigerator, meaning cool, storehouse, and warehouse. Okay. So 2 words for storage buildings and cool. So 大学の冷蔵庫. Let's see. 借りて. See, 借りる to borrow, to make use of. Okay, so yeah, either to borrow or to make use of. He couldn't literally borrow the refrigerator in the sense of like physically taking it, so make use of it would probably be a more logical use. Though you can technically say you're borrowing the refrigerator when you're using it, I guess. So he borrowed the college's refrigerator. Let's see, cold water, cold sake, cold, cool, chilled, unheated. See, borrowed the college's refrigerator, doing for the purpose of making it cold. Then from that, sumetai, so that it's cold to the touch. Sumetai, one of the words is cold. See, I borrowed the fridge at the university to chill it so it's nice and cold. See, 大学の冷蔵庫を借りて、here find the grammar of this. Daigaku no reizouko o karite. The speaker borrowed karite, the university refrigerator. The particle wo marks the object being borrowed. Okay. Hiyashite oita. This combines the verb. Oh, this is supposed to be. Oh, okay, I see. This is all one word. Okay, that was the confusion. Hiyasu. To cool. To chill. Okay, so this is borrow the refrigerator to chill, then put in place so that item is cold. Yeah, hiyashite. So hiyashite oita. This combines the transitive verb hiyasu to chill with the auxiliary teoku to do something in preparation for. The past tense oita indicates that the item was chilled in advance or prepared earlier. Okay, kara, particle because or since, and then sumetai ko describes the current state of an item. Yeah, if you want to say an item is cold, you say sumetai. Hence, it has the cold to the touch kind of meaning to it. If you want to say like the air is cold, though, you say samui. I see. Explain the karite. Let's see. Explain this part. Explain the karite hiyashite oita. I know you can combine. Let's see. When you combine verbs and with a connected form, te form, it means that they're either happening one after the other or they're happening simultaneously. Yasu transmitting to chill. Great. Teoku auxiliary attack. To do something. Is the kari is the karite part of the same clause that Yashite is in, or separate? Single predicate chain. The te form here functions as a conjunction link in sequential actions performed by the subject within a sentence structure. It creates A action, B action, auxiliary verb. Okay. Shared auxiliary. Both actions lead to the singular auxiliary verb oku in its past in SoraYuki, which applies to the entire sequence. The structure is essentially I borrowed and chilled in advance. Contrast with separate clauses. These were separate. The first verb would typically end in a form that concludes the thought. Is karite and hiyashite happening at the same time or one after the other? Is karite hiyashite, okay. In the phrase karite hayashite oita, the actions happen one after the other, sequentially, not at the same time. In this context, and then it indicates a chronological order. So he borrowed the fridge first, he chilled it, and then he did all this for the purpose of something, or he put in place for the purpose of this. Okay, so 大学の冷蔵庫を借りて冷やしておいたから冷たいよ。
大学の冷蔵庫を借りて冷やしておいたから冷たいよ。
ねえ、このゼリーまだ残ってる？
ねえ、このゼリー、まだ乗ってる I think she said. Let's see.
ねえ、このゼリーまだ残ってる？
残ってる。ゼリー、jello, gelatin dessert. このゼリー、まだ still 残ってる、so 残る to remain, to be left. So in a continuous state of being and remain. So in other words, is there still leftover dessert? ねえ、このゼリーまだ残ってる？残る okay. This is intransitive.
ねえ、このゼリーまだ残ってる？
うちの冷蔵庫にあるよ。
このゼリーまだ残ってる？
うちの冷蔵庫にあるよ。
うちの冷蔵庫にある。So the refrigerator at home has some. うちの冷蔵庫にあるよ。
ねえ、このゼリーまだ残ってる？
うちの冷蔵庫にあるよ。
帰ったらケロちゃんにも食べさせてあげよう。
帰ったら、let's see. So if I return home or when I return home, so 帰ったら、ケロちゃんにも、食べさせてあげよう。So when I return home, I can also give cause to eat to Kiro-chan. In other words, when I return home, I can allow Kiro-chan to have some, I guess. See, when I get home, I'll let Kiro-chan have some too. So see, kaeru. Oh yeah, this is a godon verb. Okay, even though it's an edu, it's one of those edu verbs. It's one of the few ones that are a godon verb. Kaeta tara. Okay. So kaetara Kiro-chan ni mo tabe sasete ageyo. So when I return home, I'll also let Kiro-chan have some.
ねえ、このゼリーまだ残ってる？
うちの冷蔵庫にあるよ。
帰ったらケロちゃんにも食べさせてあげよう。
ゴミ捨ててくるね。
あ、ゴミ捨ててくるね。Let's see, 捨ててくる. 捨てる to throw away. So 捨てて be the connective form. So transitive to throw away, so gomi is trash. And then kuru, why is kuru being used? Explain the grammar of gomi sutete kuru. It's a contraction of gomi wo sutete kuru ne. I'll go and throw the trash out. So, okay. Kuru to come verb. When attached to the tab form, indicates the action involves going to a location to perform the verb and then returning. Or the start of an action that continues into the present. Okay. Let's see. Or the start of an action that continues into the present. Here it implies to go, throw out the trash, and come back. Okay. Oh, this is like Gtk.init, where you're basically saying you're going and coming back when you're leaving for the day. Here he's saying he's throwing out the trash and coming back. Gomi shitete kuru ne.
食べさせてあげよう。
ゴミ捨ててくるね。俺も行く。
あ、僕も。
ゴミ捨ててくるね。俺。
Let's see. Ore mo iku, or I'll go as well, and then Bokumo, I as well.
ゴミ捨ててくるね。俺も行く。
あ、僕も。
リー君、美味しいゼリー食べ損ねちゃったね。リー君、
Lee-kun, oishi zeri, 食べ
美味しいゼリー食べ損ねちゃったね。
損ねちゃったね. Let's see. Lee-kun, oishi zeri, so jello, so 食べ損ね okay, 損ねる to harm, to hurt, to injure, to wreck, to miss one's chance to do something, to fail to do what one ought to have done. Interesting. So Lee-kun ended up missing eating delicious yogurt. And if I understand this correctly, I think, is this one noun or is this a suffix being attached with this sokoneru? Abe sokoneru. tabe sokone chatta. Okay. So, complex predicate. This is a contraction of tabe sokonete shimata. Okay. Tabe, the mouse stem, continued form of the verb taberu. Sokone, the mouse stem of the auxiliary verb sokoneru. Chatta, the casual past contraction of te shimata. See, the compound sokoneru is formed by attaching the auxiliary verb sokoneru to the mouse stem of the main verb. Okay, so it is an attachment. It expresses failing to do something or missing chance to do something. Let's see, unlike simply saying didn't eat, tabe soko neta specifically highlights the regret of missing the opportunity. It suggests. Okay. Unlike simply saying didn't eat, tabe nakatta. Okay, tabe soko neta specifically highlights the regret of missing the opportunity. It suggests the jelly was available or intended to be eaten, but something prevented it. So, Lee-kun, oishi zeri, okay, oishi zeri, tabe soko ne chatta ne.
リーくん、美味しいゼリー食べ損ねちゃったね。
友よ。
リーくん、美味しいゼリー食べ損ねちゃったね。
友よ。
Tomoyo. Now notice she did not use a suffix at all in this. That implies that they know each other very well. In this case, it's her mother, Tomoyo. Let's see. That name is Sonomi. Park, garden, yard, okay. Beauty, beautiful.
Leeくん、美味しいゼリー食べ損ねちゃったね。
友よ。
お母様。お母様。
Oka-sama.
ちゃったね。
友よ。
お母様。綺麗な人。さくらちゃん、ご紹介しますわ。母です。ご紹介し。
ご紹介しますわ。はです。So, Sakura-chan, let me introduce. Let me introduce you to my mother. Let's see. So.
綺麗な人。さくらちゃん、ご紹介しますわ。母です。綺麗な人。さくらちゃん。
紹介しますははです。さくらちゃん、ご紹介しますははです。
なっちゃったね。
友よ。
お母様。綺麗な人。さくらちゃん、ご紹介しますわ。母です。
ごめんなさい。大道寺そのみです。 ごめん。
ごめんなさい。Okay. 大道寺。
ごめんなさい。大道寺そのみです。
Tsunami des. Okay. Just in parentheses, that part of the name? Oh, maybe because they already said it before. Tsunami. Daidoji. In other words, that's the family name, and then Tsunomi, given name. So, in other words, she's apologizing because she didn't immediately introduce her name after the introduction, and then finally saying her name, Daidoji Tsunomi des, I'm Daijoji Tsunomi, with the family name always given first. See, in that kanji, large road, street, journey, okay, Buddhist temple.
ごめんなさい。大道寺そのみです。いつも友よと仲良くしてくださってありがとう。ごめんなさい。大道寺そのみです。いつも友よと
Tomoyo, okay, Itsumo Tomoyo to.
大道寺そのみです。いつも友よと仲良くしてくださって
Kudasate, arigato. So that is nakayoku, on good terms or friendly terms, getting along well, in harmony, happily, peacefully. Oh, so yeah, this is the yoi kanji. And then this is like in the middle of kanji, so in the middle of good. So in other words, always on good terms. Nakayoi. Let's see. Close, intimate, on good terms. Okay. So, but that's used more like a keiyoshi or adjective, and this is it in its adverb form. So, in other words, like being on good terms. So, nakayoku shite. So always with Tomoyo, giving, being on good terms, and then thank you for that. So thank you for always being friendly with Tomoyo. Or getting along with Tomoyo. So now notice let's see, notice she said kudasate instead of what you would commonly hear with see, kureru, so kurete. So in other words, she's also speaking a lot politer Japanese, which is where Tomoyo gets it from, essentially. The fact that her mother speaks very polite Japanese. Or at least I assume that's where she gets it from. So, yeah, since kudasaru is considered a politer word than kureru. So, itsumo Tomoyo to nakayoku shite kudasate arigato.
ごめんなさい。大道寺そのみです。いつも友よと仲良くしてくださってありがとう。
そんなことないです。私がいつもお世話になってて。
Sonokoto nai desu. It's not that. And then, watashi ga itsumo o something ni nattete. That looks like tomo hanashi.
ださってありがとう。
そんなことないです。私がいつもお世話になってて。
Oh, okay. Osewa. Sewa. Okay. So, help and aid. So, Generation World, Society, Public, and then Tail Talk. And that somehow means help or aid. See, care, looking after, help, assistant. Let's see. So, そんなことないです。私がいつもお世話になってて。Okay, so in other words, it's not that. In other words, it's not her being particularly nice to Tomoyo. It's okay. So then let's see. I always let's see. I become what? I'm becoming Aiden. So in other words, I'm always the one receiving help. Is there any questions so far? If there's no questions, then we're going to continue. So let's see. Why does this end with continue with te form? So in other words, yeah, Sakura's saying that's not it. I'm the one always receiving help, being helped. Sentence ends with the te form indicating unfinished narrative or to invite a response, a grammatical structure known as isashi hyojin. Continued markup. The te form at the end of the sentence acts as a conjunction, signaling that the speaker has more to say or is waiting for the listener to react. Polite explanation. Okay. In polite conversation, ending with the te form softens the statement, making it feel less abrupt, more open than a definitive desumasu ending. Contextual nuance. Since the phrase translates to "that's not really the case, I'm the one who is always being helped," can form implies that I'm the one who is always being helped. And that is why I don't need to thank you so much, or please don't overstate it. Okay. Okay, so in other words, it's the expected reasoning. It's basically the reasoning on saying I'm the one being helped, so you don't have to say that essentially. But it's obvious that that's what it means. So it's being left in the connected form just to leave it open-ended that part's there and it implied. Soそんなことないです。私がいつもお世話になってて。
だってありがとう。そんなことないです。私がいつもお世話になってて。本当に可愛いわね。
本当に可愛いわね。You truly are cute, or you're really cute. Yeah. In English, you tend to say really. In Japanese, you tend to say truly.
お世話になってて。本当に可愛いわね。私の知ってる子によく似てるわ。
私の知ってる子に、私の知ってる子によく似てるわ。So yoku could mean well or often. So in this case, well. So let's see. Towards a child I knew. Okay, and then so no. Let's see. Nite. It is very similar. So very similar to a child I knew. Or very similar to a child I know. Let's see.
Yes. 私の知ってる子によくです。私がいつもお世話になってて。本当に可愛いわね。私の知ってる。
Let's see. Nitere from Niru. To resemble. Let's see. Frequently, often, nicely. Let's see. Explain the grammar of. Well, let's see. Here to here the verb and intensifies the verb meaning resembles very much. So, in other words, you resemble a child. You very much resemble a child I know. 私の知ってる子によく似てるわ。
私がいつもお世話になってて。
本当に可愛いわね。
I think the reason it's using continuous form is because she's in the continuous state of being resembling that person.
私の知ってる子によく似てるわ。友よからあなたのことはよく聞いてたんだけど。
友よからあなたのことはよく OK 友よからあなたのことはよく聞いてたんだけど、so from Tomoyo, let's see, あなたのこと so things about you, so よく聞いてた so have her continuously hearing in the past and many because it's Yoku, so I've heard many things about you. So from Tomoyo, I've heard many things about you, but so Tomoyo kara anata no koto wa yoku kiite taんだけど
友よからあなたのことはよく聞いてたんだけど、名字はまだだったわ。教えてくださる？
表示はまだだったわ。教えてくださる So teach, give teaching. Let's see.
友よからあなたのことはよく聞いてたんだけど、名字はまだだったわ。
Kanji used in name, but it's not Namaya. It's Myoji, surname, family name, last name. Okay, so there's apparently alternative kanjis for this word as well. So character, literal word selection, name noted, reputation. Okay, I see what she's implying here. So, by looking at her, she thinks she knows the family name essentially, but all this time she heard all those things about Sakura, but not knowing her family name about because she knows her mother, so she didn't realize essentially who Sakura was related, how Sakura was related to someone she already knew. So Myoji wa see, Myoji wa Mara datta wa so family name and to be until now 教えてくださる let's see, you haven't mentioned your last name yet. Could you tell me what it is? Okay. So how does this grammar break down into that? Explain the grammar of this. Myoji, the word family name or surname. Okay. But it's rarely used in modern conversations. Standard word is namae or myoji with other kanji. Okay. It is considered stiff, archaic, and casual speech. More importantly, myoji usually refers to the concept of a surname, not the specific one. Okay. Mara datta wa, so mara still, and then past tense. Copula wa, meaning it was still. This implies that the state of the name is in the past. If you mean it is still unknown, it should be present tense. Let's see, mara desu or mara wakarimasen. I think they're using past tense because she's trying to say that all the way in the past, she never learned the name. Let's see. If you mean it's still unknown, okay. Oshiete kudasaru. Humble, polite auxiliary verb, okay. Let's see. You cannot end a request with a dictionary form. It must be conjugated to kudasai. Kudasai maska. Or kudasai. Kudasaru is used to describe someone else doing something for you. Yes. Because she's yeah, she's making a request, but in the request she's basically saying, "Can you do this for me?" So let's see. Myoji wa mada oshiete i. See, could it be Data because she was referring to how in the past she was never told the surname. Let's see. Your intuition is partially correct regarding the meaning, but the grammar in the original phrase remains unnatural for that specific intent. You're right that date past tense can refer to the state that persisted in the past. And the situation was that I still didn't know your name. Armada data exists. It typically means it was still incomplete or ongoing regarding the situation of timing. Not usually I wasn't told. See, Myoji wa Maradata sounds like the surname itself was still not yet, which is abstracted and confusing. Doesn't clearly convey that I wasn't told. But in the previous sentence, she said, I was talking about how Tomoyo was told her many things. So, 名字はまだだったは教えてくださる? Or, up to this point, I haven't been told your name. Can you tell me your name? Or can you teach me your name? Your family name? Yeah.
友よからあなたのことはよく聞いてたんだけど、名字はまだだったわ。教えてくださる？
さくらさん。
お父さん。
ああ、木之本先生。
ああ、そのみくん。
Yeah, this is a name, so it's having trouble.
Kinomoto 先生。
ああ、そのみくん。名字が違うからわからなかったよ。名字が違う。
名字が違うから。See, 名字が違う, so different family names. So from a different family name, let's see. わからなかった。Okay, so, konnichiwa, Mayhiminator. Genki desu ka? Let's see. She's speaking in very polite Japanese. You could very well end a sentence with a ru as long as you raise your voice in questioning tone. Okay, let's see. In fact, I think Japanese people would prefer it that way, with the polite negative. In real life, Japanese people rarely use ka in polite conversation. Yeah, I heard someone mention something about the only time you ever hear ka in real life is when it's said as desu ka. Though they could be though I've heard of modifications like kai instead of ka. Your AI is tripping. Kara since okay, so wakaranai is past tense, yes, okay. Oh, okay, so you probably didn't hear me. Yeah, I was saying that from what I've heard, the only time you ever hear ka in real life is when they say it as desu ka, though even then I've heard of modifications like saying kai instead of ka. So, 名字違うから、わからなかったよ. So, uh, the last name is different, so I didn't know. Basically implying that she he didn't recognize her because she got married and her last name changed. So when she heard the I guess Sakura mentioned her last name, he didn't realize it was anyone that he knew.
"名字が違うからわからなかったよ。学生時代は雨宮そのみさんだったから。
Let's see. 学生
名字が違うからわからなかったよ。学生時代は
Let's see. 学生時代は So back when you were a student, 学生時代は雨宮
だよ。学生時代は雨宮そのみさんだった。
And then だったからLet's see. Right, well, Kai is only for yes or no questions, so I forgot about that. Let's see. Kai is also very direct and can be rude, so only use it with friends. Okay, and that's interesting. I heard Kai is actually considered less rude than just using ka, though. Let's see, Amamiya, or in other words, her family name before marriage was Rain in Shinto Shrine or Palace Princess. Okay. Amamiya, okay. Sonomi-san. Okay, so Amamiya Sonomi-san data. So back when you were a student, it was Amamiya Sonomi-san. Okay. So Gakusei Jidai, so student days. And if you look at it, there's the kanji for time and the kanji for let's see, counter for decades, ages, generations. See, Jidai means period, like a period of time, essentially. So, and the period of time of being a student, essentially. But you could also use it for like different periods of historical times. Jidai. Let's see, Mei Himenedo wa I'd be careful with Kai Toimashita.
だからわからなかったよ。学生時代は雨宮そのみさんだったから。
さくら、この名前で気づくべきだったわ。
Sakura, この名前で気づくべきだ. See, this is from suku, to attach. So, let's see, attach spirit. What? Kizuki. to notice, to realize, to become aware. So in other words, Sakura, kono namae, that name. Kizuki, to become aware. Let's see, Becky. Should, must, ought to. So within the delineation of that name, which is why I'm guessing they're using de, she's saying she should have been aware. So Sakura, kono namae de Kizuki Becky data wa. So is this a suffix or its own word? This doesn't look conjugated, so I guess it's just a own word. So kizuku. And is kizuku Becky, one word. Explain in English. It is a grammatical combination of distinct elements. Kizuku, which is basically key and spirit, mind, and then Zuku, which comes from Suku, to attach. Come from E and Zuku. In other words, attach, mind, or notice. Okay. Let's see. And the auxiliary adjective, Becky. So Kizuku, okay, Becky. Therefore, Kizuku Becky translates to should have noticed. Sakura, kono namae de Kizuki Becky datta wa?
いや、そのみさんだったから。
さくら、この名前で気づくべきだったわ。なでしこが女の子が生まれたら絶対。
Let's see. Let's use a set phrase, okay. Later on, you notice a ton of phrases in Japanese where the word makes no sense on their own, but together something completely different. That's just what a set phrase is. The more you try to break it down, the less sense it makes. Not nice. I don't know. I haven't really seen that. It seems to always make more sense. Let's see. Zettai.
なでしこが女の子。
Nadeshiko, or Sakura's mother, okay, ga onnanako ga umaretara. So intransitive, to be born. So in other words, Nadeshiko, let's see, if a girl is born, Okay, anyway, what I was saying is that I haven't really found that breaking it down heavily doesn't make any sense. Actually, for me, I found it makes words make more sense. Like kini iri, if you know that 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 iri is essentially a more archaic form of saying ireru, essentially, and you're basically saying basically entering your mind, or in other words, you like something. Okay, so yeah, nowadays, outside of phrases like kini iri, you see either uh, hairu or ireru, but in set phrases like kini iri, you see it as pronounced as kini iri. Let's see. So, Nadesco says, if I have a girl, okay.
いやその2、3だったから。
さくら、この名前で気づくべきだったわ。なでしこが女の子が生まれたら絶対につけるのって言ってた名前ですもの。なでしこが女の子が生まれたら絶対に
絶対につけるのつて、let's see. So absolutely attach. So to say absolutely, said absolutely attached. Will attach. Said will attach the name thing. So in other words, she said if I have a girl, I'm gonna call her that name essentially. Let's see. After all, it's the name Nadesco said she'll definitely give if she had a girl. Okagede. Let's see, right? But then there's phrases like uh okagede, by your honorable shadow, but it means thanks to you. Okay. Okay. So the logic I think with okagede is essentially uh okay, essentially think of like you casting your shadow as in casting your influence on someone, and they're basically saying like your influence, aka thanks to you, essentially because of your influence, is what caused it. So Okage de has that nuance to it, like you casted your shadow, and your shadow is like your influence over the person, essentially. So hence why Okage de means thanks to you. So sort of like how Shikamaru used his shadow to physically move people in Naruto. Everything usually has some sort of logical meaning because people don't just randomly say things. That there's a reason why something became the way it is. So, Nadeshiko ga unaka ga umaretara zettai ni tsukeru no te iteta namae desu mono. So, I think this parenthesis is not supposed to be here. This one. Okay, so in other words, so Nadeshiko always said, if a girl is born, I was always attached. And then name. In other words, I would always name it. Let's see. So, why is name used at that location, though? Explain the grammar of... Let's see. Here, Nadeshiko... Oh, wait, Nadeshiko... Okay, marks as the subject of the final predicate des mono. However, in this specific context, it functions to identify Nadeshiko as the specific entity being defined. The embedded quote. So, onnanoko ga umare tara Oh, I went too many parentheses in there. Let's see, the onnanoko ga umaretara zettai ni tsukeru no. Okay. Let's see, if a girl is born, see, zettai ni tsukeru no, I will absolutely give this name. I will absolutely give sute, colloquial contraction of to. Okay, the head noun. Okay, namae. So iteta this is a colloquial contraction of ite ita. Okay, the past progressive form of iu. So we're saying, or simply said, indicating that a past state or action. I think always said it was probably a good analogy to that. Structure Nadesco said X name. In English, this functions like the name that Nadesco said she would use. Okay. Sentence ending with des mono, des copula mono. Sentence ending particle that provides a reason, excuse, or an emotional justification. It softens the statement while asserting it's a fundamental truth known to the speaker. See, in Japanese, you wouldn't say things like the house which is on the hill. You'd say something like the hill house. Yes, because all the descriptors in Japanese have to happen in the front. So in this case, so skeru. Okay, so in this case, attach, in other words, give a name. So okay, so Nadeshko. So Nadeshko ga. So if it is a girl, I will absolutely give name. So that is the name that if it was a girl, Nadeshko said she would absolutely give, essentially. Hence, okay, and hence why Namai is at the end, because essentially the core sentence is basically Nadeshko would do that name, and what context doing that name? So in other words, if it is a girl, we'll give that name. That's how she's doing it. She's doing the if it's a girl, giving that name, or as you'd say in English, if it's a girl, Nadeshko. That is all the name that Nadeshko said she would always give if she has a girl. So Nadeshko ga onnanoko ga umare ra zettai ni sukeru no te iteta namae desu mono.
なでしこが女の子が生まれたら絶対につけるのって言ってた名前ですもの。子が生まれたら絶対につけるの。
質問がありますか? Are there any questions? Let's see. So the whole phrase she said just modifies namai. It is a name which I would definitely give if I give birth to a girl. Okay, yeah. More literally because of the verb used, actually. So umareru is intransitive, to be born. So it's not so much giving birth to a girl. It's if a girl is born. And of course, it's implied giving birth, but you would use I think it was umu to actually say giving birth, though. Remember correctly. Umu. Yes, to give birth, yeah. So, and its Tada form would be, let's see. So, it would be, let's see, umata, so umatara. Okay, so it would be umatara, I believe. With its Tada form. Umatara. see, conditional tada. Wait, dot. Oh yeah, that's right, because it's wait, it says its tab form is oh, that's it. Umu's tab form is unde. So its past form was unda, so unda tada would be its tada form unda tada. Yeah, because umu is a nubumu word, so it uses de and da for connective tense and past tense. Unde and unda, so unda tada. That's it, right? But the one-to-one with English sounds wacky. I don't know. If a girl is born, that doesn't really sound wacky to me. Okay, any other questions? See, well, in English, if you say if a girl is born, it could be her child or any other child. Uh, true. Which is why you would normally get the reference from context, just like you do in so many other uses of language. You get everything from context. But you're right; it is ambiguous on whether it's your child or someone else's child being born. But with any kind of lead up talk like this, it would be obvious, meaning like it's your child being talked about. I would say it makes sense in English as well, not just Japanese. Like if someone goes up and uh, ask you like, what would you name your kids? Like you'd say, if it was a girl or if a girl was born, this. If it was a boy, then this. Okay, so for the first raid, we're gonna raid Kanade. So please stick around for the raids. Okay, for the second raid, we're gonna raid We're gonna raid Wild Pup Tarts, who's practicing Spanish. And for the third raid, we're gonna raid Cammy, who's playing the game Rebirth, I think. Oh, actually, okay. So, Wild Pup Tarts doesn't allow raiding, so we're gonna raid, so we're gonna raid, Ginra83, who's learning Japanese instead. So, 皆さんお気をつけて、また明日. Goodbye everyone, see you tomorrow.